Top 5 bike safety tips from a personal injury lawyer. In this video, I'm going to share with you the top 5 tips that I think will keep you safe, but also protect your personal injury claim if you happen to be involved in a bike crash. So the first one is obvious. You got to abide by the rules of the road. You have to be safe. You have to keep yourself safe. And ultimately, if you do your job and everyone else around you does theirs when it comes to the rules of the road, you should avoid an incident with another vehicle or something else. We know that doesn't always happen. So as a personal injury lawyer, if a car crash or a bike crash or any type of accident occurs, I want to ensure that my client was following the rules of the road, that they were doing what they were supposed to do, so they're insulated from what we call contributory negligence or fault. So a second tip, and this isn't always possible, but if you can, stay off the road because we know drivers aren't always safe. Use paths, use trails. If there's designated bike lanes, use those. If you can separate yourself from potential hazards, the probability that you avoid an incident or an accident, is better. So do what you can to be safe, make smart decisions, and think about the road infrastructure around you. The third is high visibility cycling gear. There's so much out there nowadays that you can do to make yourself more visible. Don't be the person with a black jacket and a black backpack. And while it may look cool and neat, it's just not worth it. I was at a local cycling event recently, and people were talking about their neon outfits and how it doesn't look good. In fact, it's almost distracting how bright the gear is, but you get seen. Most cycling incidents occur because the bike and the bike rider aren't visible. They're not seen in a half-second shoulder check. They're not seen around the corner. There's not a lot of street lights in the area. So you have to take responsibility for doing everything you can to make yourself visible. And that's not just fluorescent bike gear. That's bike lights, that's reflectors, that's extra lights on your helmet, whatever you can do. If you give a driver even another half second of notice, they can put on the brakes, they can swerve around you in that last moment to hopefully avoid a bike crash. The fourth tip is to stay and ride with traffic. It's not always possible to go with the flow, but on most streets, you can try to stay with traffic. And by doing that, you're more expected to other road users. There's an increasing thought in the cycling community that weaving in and out of cars that are parked along the side of the road may not be the best idea because drivers forget about you if you're close to the curb. Of course, it may not be the best idea on a main thoroughfare to be right in the full lane of traffic, so maybe there's a splitting the difference that can occur. But as a cyclist, paired with your high visibility gear, keeping with the traffic, being part of that traffic flow will reduce the likelihood that you're in a bike accident. And the fifth is to be present, be aware of your surroundings. It's not a time to wear earphones, to have the AirPods in, to be distracted on your cell phone, to be using your cell phone with one hand while you're biking. It's just not worth it. Focus on the ride, focus on what's going around you, and drive and ride with the presumption that you're not seen. It's just too dangerous to do it otherwise. And unfortunately, while biking, we don't have the benefit of a big metal cage around us to protect us. I'm a personal injury lawyer, I'm a cyclist, and I can tell you I've had close calls on the road, and I've represented cyclists who've been hurt because they couldn't escape a bike crash. They've been hurt and seriously hurt because they have little protection, and a helmet doesn't do enough to protect you from all incidents. I've seen incidents involving multiple fractures and head injuries because cyclists were hit even at city speeds. So by following these cycling tips, hopefully you can have enjoyable rides, safe rides, and avoid a bike crash. If you have questions about safe riding tips or want some help as to what to do about your personal injury claim, how a bike accident claim is different from a regular motor vehicle accident claim, and there's some specific nuance there, just get in touch. I appreciate riding. I know how to do these claims. I'm an experienced lawyer who's helped countless cyclists resolve their injury claims and get recognized for their joy of riding, the fact that they can't do exercise, can't go on those rides like they used to. It's a significant part of people's lives, and I get that. And if that's something that's been taken away from the accident, in my opinion, that should be fairly compensated through your injury claim. I look forward to hearing from you and answering any questions you have. Take care and safe riding.